Hi everybody, it's Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration, and my co-host Mary from The Painted Peach are welcoming you to Stencil Sunday. We'd love it if you check out all of our channels and check out the wonderful and amazing creators that are joining us today. Today I'm going to use my Essential Stencils. Remember, if you go to the Essential Stencil website and use the code FunkyJunk, you can save 10%. And they have the new summer bundles are on sale right now, so make sure you go check that out. And these stencils are from the summer bundle. So what I'm doing here is I'm just painting this round white, and I'm going to paint this little, it's not quite 6 by 6, it's about 5.5 by 5.5 little board here. We're going to do a couple little stencil projects here. I absolutely love Ladybugs, so that's what we're going to use. We're going to use the new Ladybug stencils. And I want to apologize to everyone. I do have a cold, and so I sound a little annoying. So if you have to, you could always mute me, right? Okay, so here, this round is kind of cool on this stencil because it shows the, there's a marking on here for the round. Okay, and it is a smaller one. I believe this is a 12-inch round, but you can just line it right up on there. And this is a layered stencil, so that's kind of cool. So here we go. We're going to start with red. We're going to put red down first. You can do any color that you want. You could change the bug lady to a different color. You do whatever you want to do as far as the stencil goes. So, most ladybugs we think of as red and black, but you could go a little crazy and make your ladybug pink and black or whatever you want to do. It's up to you, totally up to you. Just remember, when you are stenciling, you want to use the least amount of paint as possible. So when you put your paint on your brush, you want to offload it and work that paint up into the bristles. You don't want paint sitting on the end of the brush. That's what can cause you to have bleed through. You also want to use a thicker paint if possible. If you don't have any choice because of the color, you can always thicken it up a little bit with some other chalk paint, or just make sure you offload really, really well. Now, right there, because my board wasn't completely dry, I pulled up some white paint, but that's okay. It's not going to bother us. We're going to just fix it. I'm just going to go right back over the top of that with paint, and when we get this project done, you won't even be able to see that. And you really can't see it that well on the video here, but it was a big chunk that came out. So I'm just going to paint that over again. I'm going to dry that, and then we're going to grab our stencil and lay it right back on top of that, and we're going to re-stencil that where I got white paint on the red lady. And also, I noticed one of my ladybug wings over there isn't quite all painted red, so we're going to go over the whole thing again. So that's another thing that's nice about these stencils. They're nice and thick, and they're very easy to lay right back down. They are washable, so you can use them over and over and over again. How I clean my stencils is I take them down and put them in the sink, and I use hot water, as hot as I can, because that hot will reactivate that paint, and then I can just wipe my paint off. If I have some stubborn paint, or if I don't clean my stencils right away, the Dawn Power Wash works wonderful. I know a lot of people use the Awesome spray, but it really bothers me, so I try to stay away from that. So I actually use the Dawn Power Wash, and it works really, really well. But the hot water helps too, because like I said, it reactivates that paint. You do cold, it's kind of set in the paint. Okay, so here we go. So now we're just going to lay this right down on top of that. Okay, and just kind of look at the polka dots on the bug lady and make sure that they're all inside the words. You get what I mean? You don't want a polka dot that's coming off the edge of the word. And then look at your wings on your butterfly down there. Okay, so once we got that all lined up there, I just got some black paint again, and here we go stenciling. I like to go in a circular motion, but you do you. Some people like to stipple, some people like to use the makeup wedges or the pouncers and stuff. Again, whatever you use, make sure that you're not using too much paint, because that will cause you to have a problem. Now, if you get bleed through, it's not that big of a deal. You can always sand it a little bit. You could take an X-Acto knife and get it off with that. You could always like grunge up your project, or you know what? If you're not happy with your project, just sand it off and redo it, or paint over the top of it, because remember, it is just paint, and this is supposed to be relaxing, and this is supposed to be for fun, to make beautiful, pretty things, so don't overthink it. I'm going to tell you guys what, this cold's got the best of me, and it's crazy that it's June 1st and I've got a cold. Um, but anyway, so here we are. We're just making sure we're getting every single little spot that we need to on here. You guys, again, I want to tell you that if you go to the Essential Stencil website, if you use the code FUNKYJUNK, you can save your 10%. And that is on top of your bundle prices and stuff like that. And they do have some beautiful stencils that have just been released. So please don't bug the lady. I absolutely love this stencil. I think it is absolutely adorable. I am a big Ladybug fan, so I think this looks really cute, and it's going directly on my door. Now, no project is completely finished until we frame in the project. This just gives it like a little frame around so that your eye is drawn to the project and not out away, your eye wander away or whatever. I don't know, it just pleases the eye to have a finished edge on there. You can go as dark as you want. You could have used red. Red would have been cute too. Now I'm going to get my big old crocodile out, and because this is so thin, and I'm going to put a hole in it. Now I was holding that up there because I just want to put one hole on it just to see if it's going to hang straight. Put a little pencil mark, and here we go. Punch. Woo! Yep, there's our hole. So easy peasy lemon squeezy right there, right? So now I'm just going to take this black jute that I have. Now I took a big, huge, long piece, and it was like, why am I using such a long piece? So I decided to cut it in half, but it's just jute, but it's black, and I thought it would be perfect for this. I'm not a real big bow person or a ribbon person, so I kind of just like having the simple hanger, because I think the project should be more about what is on the project than your big bow or whatever. So that's just me. Anyway, so now I'm going to take this a smaller little board here. It's basically, it's right around a 6x6. It's a little bit smaller than that. And we're going to do a couple projects. Now I'm going to make this double-sided because I like to have my little shelf setters, little signs like this, to be double-sided so that you can turn it around and use it another way, or if you put it somewhere that people can see both sides of your project, that way they're not just looking at the back of your board. So I just like to do the double-sided. That's me. Okay, so now I'm putting the love on there. I want to make sure it's dry before I lay my stencil down. Silly girl. Don't want to smear that black paint. Now we're going to put that on there. Now, as soon as I started to put that down, I was like, wait a minute. I need to make sure I got my antennas and stuff like that will fit on there. So what I ended up doing was I moved up to what would be the second layer of the stencil, and I just very lightly went over the stencil. Okay, that way I made sure that my antennas, however you want to say it, are on the project. So then I just pulled it back off, put the red wings on, got them dry, and then I'm going to lay the stencil right down back on top and stencil the black for the rest of the bug. That is, like I said, that is just so that I made sure I didn't accidentally push my put the wings up so high that it cut half of the poor little ladybug's head off, So that's what I'm doing there. And again, I'm just making sure I don't have too much paint on my brush. That's why I usually touch my stencil off to the side a little bit, because I can tell if I've got a big blob of paint or something stuck to it. So anyway, okay, so now we're going to flip this over. We're going to use one of the other stencils. And I think I used Hello Ladybug. This is really cute. Now, I did the Hello Ladybug all black. You could do like Lady in black and, Hello Black and Ladybug in red, or Red Hello, Black Ladybug. You could do it however you want to do it. Now, like I said a little while ago, if your Ladybug's pink and black, you might want to use pink on there. But I just decided to go ahead and do it this way. Now, again, we're going to put that on there, and I'm doing the top part first because I want to make sure the antennas are on there. And I decided to use the smaller Ladybug. I think she's cute. And same thing that we just did on the other side. Easy to line this right back up with doing that. I do this a lot just to kind of see sometimes where I want my project to be, especially when it's a double layered project, because if I wouldn't have done that, my luck, I would have put that up too high. Now I'm going around and painting the sides black. I like to do this to frame in my project. Sometimes I do it really thick black like I've done on this one, and then sometimes I just barely do it where you can't hardly see it. But and then I can just do the framing on both sides of my project, and the edges of my projects are painted rather than not being painted, which we don't always like it to not be painted, so it looks finished. But anyway, I just used the black all the way around. I could have used red, whatever color you feel like using. And we're just kind of brushing that around the edge. And I love how this turned out, you guys. This Ladybug is adorable. I absolutely love this stencil set. Please don't bug the lady. I love that. But anyway, I do like the finished project. It came out very well. And again, this is Essential Stencils. And use the code FUNKYJUNK, one word, at checkout to save additional money. I'd appreciate it if you do that. This is my ambassador code. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell, and make sure you check out everybody else in the playlist. I'm sure there's going to be some amazing and wonderful things, and I appreciate you being here. Bye-bye.